I'm John Hewlett.
And I'm Travis Smith.
And welcome to Tech 95.
Oh yeah. We got our logo in there. Oh yeah, baby. Oh yeah. Anywho,
Still haven't gotten an intro, but we're working on it.
Yeah, we're working very hard on that.
Very low budget.
Yeah, of nothing.
I'm surprised. I wonder if they'll take.
Sorry if the lighting's a little on the terrible side.
We're still working on that. We're trying different options. This time we're using a pen light.
Yeah, kind of. And
it's
the lighting over on this side is non-existent. There's no light over here whatsoever. And if you turn on the light over here, this big light comes on.
And it makes us look.
And it makes me look terrible. So we got a little. So we got a little desk lamp in front of me. So it kind of hopefully serves best of both worlds because we're technically right next to each other, but it kind of. Other than judging by the picture in the background, as you can see right there, you can't really tell we're in the same room, but hey, it's what we can do for now.
That's right. Did you want your Pepsi?
No, I'm good.
Okay.
I got my water down here. Anywho, so...
The following is brought to you by Verner's. Verner's. It's what we drink around here. Well, he doesn't. He doesn't like it.
Nah. Verner's just got this... taste to it. No offense, Verner's. Just saying.
Verner's 100%.
It's nothing personal. Just yeah. Anywho, let's see here. What do we got here? See, I got my little screen capture in there. Awesome. So,
do we have the screen on it?
Yeah.
Okay. Good.
So as you can tell, you've probably read the headline before I get a chance to read it. The NSA actually hacked North Korea before the Sony breach. As you can see, I got the little interview shot there from the movie The Interview. Anywho, you're probably gonna be speed reading this, but since it's only a few paragraphs, see, it's only a few paragraphs right there. Hopefully, I'll get the whole thing in before I have to get a drink.
NSA, not be stupid Americans.
When the FBI said
American, so
definitively last month that North Korea was responsible for the hack of Sony pictures, there were those who doubted the
veracity of the report.
Right.
Talking is so hard.
Yeah.
We haven't said that for a while.
Yeah.
We need to remember to remind everybody. Talking is very hard.
It's very hard, and to improve the talking, you got some.
You gotta get a drink.
Gotta get a little H2O in there.
Yeah, for me it's Verner's, which is basically H2O with burnt caramel.
Drink that crap like water.
Not really. I don't get it an awful lot. How could North Korea, a country not exactly known for being so high tech, pull off such complex hacks?
And how did the U.S. conclude so quickly that the secretive nation was behind the attack?
I don't know.
As it turns out, the U.S. Keep in mind, guys, I'm only reading this for those who just
PC Magazine,
or just those of you who just press play and then just click on a new tab and start working in Google Docs or something. I'm just reading it out loud for you.
We're reading this article from www.pcmag.com
and that's actually PC Magazine, so if you'd like to subscribe to their magazine, go right ahead.
Tech 95 fully supports them. They've been a really good magazine since their start.
Yeah, I've read quite a few articles from them. They're pretty good.
But our favorite is Computer Power User, CPU Magazine. That's one of the best.
Actually, I don't really have a favorite. Quite honestly, they're all pretty darn good.
I like Motor Trend myself.
As it turns out, the U.S. had some inside information, according to the reports from Der Spiegel and the New York Times. The U.S. knew that North Korea hacked Sony because the U.S. had hacked North Korea. If my scroller would work, the National Security Agency, NSA, in fact, has had access to North Korean networks and computers since 2010, the Times said. Officials wanted to keep tabs on the country's nuclear program, its high-ranking officials, and any plans to attack South Korea, according to a document published by Der Spiegel.
We're going to be as unbiased as possible to avoid sounding weird or anything, because, this is kind of a touchy subject, talking about North and South Korea and all that.
Yeah.
It's very, very touchy subject, so we're just going to read what's read. TAC-95 really has no opinion that we're going to give out right now.
Yeah.
I'm kind of the lawyer of the group, and it's only two of us. Well, Cameron...
that's a whole nother story.
That's a whole nother story.
Anyway, North Korea did attack South Korea in 2013. Crippling several of the nation's leading financial and media organizations. At one point, however, the hackers revealed their IP addresses, the same IP addresses that popped up again in the Sony hack. Of course, it's relatively easy for a skilled hacker to spoof the IP addresses. Some reports suggested that disgruntled and tech-savvy former Sony employee was behind the breach and simply the leading officials on a wild goose chase. The U.S. officials seemed sure, but the FBI put out a press release, and even President Obama said he was confident that North Korea was behind the attack.
I am Barack Obama, and I approve this message.
I'm sorry, I really
leading him to later approve sanctions against the country.
Did that scare you?
Yeah, no kidding.
No, I mean when I threw my bottle on the floor.
No.
Because when it hit the floor...
As the Times pointed out, the move was highly unusual. The United States had never explicitly charged another government with mounting a cyber attack on American targets. If the U.S. had insider information, why didn't they warn Sony? That doesn't quite make any sense to me, but I don't know. According to the Times, the spear phishing attack that North Korea used to infiltrate Sony pictures was nothing new and did not immediately ring any alarms until it was too late.
Only in retrospect did investigators determine that the North had stolen the credentials of a Sony systems administrator, which allowed the hackers to roam freely inside Sony systems, the paper said.
Yeah, interesting.
Yeah.
So...
Sounds like a whole bunch of crap going down, man.
Yeah. At first, people were blaming it on the Why is that reflected in my glasses? That is weird.
Oh, well.
Like I said, we are working hard on the lighting.
It'll get better over time. Just be patient.
Yeah, it just takes a little bit of patience. But hey, we got a logo in the background, so...
Yeah, that's a step in the right direction.
Yeah, it's a step in the right direction.
Yeah. But what were you saying? Everyone thought it was about that movie, the whatever?
The Interview.
The Interview.
I have not seen it for myself, but I hear from the movie reviews that I've read, wow, that is really bad reflection, dang.
Ditch the glasses.
Yeah, you don't want to do that. If I were to ditch the glasses, then I wouldn't have been reading that. It wouldn't have been an option.
Yeah, his eyesight sucks.
Anywho, so AT&T, I'm not gonna finish my little review on the Interview. So
I'm not gonna review the Interview.
Yeah, no kidding.
That's funny.
Anywho,
I've heard mixed stories. It's just once again, it's a touchy subject.
We're not going to touch it at this point.
No, not right now.
We're going to wait till...
Not until people chill out about it.
Not till people calm down about it.
I'm sorry.
Just calm... We're just going to wait on that one.
My leg is sore.
Well, good for you. Anywho, so...
No, not good for me.
AT&T took a $10 billion hit, but it's hoping you won't notice. Well, guess what? We
noticed! My prices went up $50! I don't even use AT&T anymore.
I do. I like AT&T. Hats off to them. But yeah, other than the little 12-hour outage that we had with our 4G LTE coverage. Anyway, in an extra special Friday night before the holiday weekend news dump, AT&T just announced that its Q4 results will include about $10 billion in charges.
AT&T, American Telephone and Turd Bombers.
Oh, that's horrible. Woo! That includes a $7.9 billion related to I'll skip that word. Gains and losses.
What word?
That one. Actuarial? Yeah, that's it.
I think they meant to say actual. No one can spell anymore.
gains and
That
losses on
includes a
pension
7.9
and post-employment benefits plan, plus a $2.1 billion charge for abandoning some copper lines it says it doesn't need anymore. So scrap them, duh. Of course, you're Of course, you're probably already well into whatever your weekend plans are. I'm not sure when this was written. So you'll barely even notice when this happened once you get back to work on Tuesday. Which is just how AT&T hoped it would go. Yeah, exactly.
Go to the top. Maybe they'll say when it was done.
When was this?
January
this was,
16th. Okay, 4 days ago.
Yeah, 4 days ago. Okay.
At 6:39 p.m.
It rolled through Twitter, so by the way, if you want to follow me on Twitter, it's at TechieT95, TECHIET95.
And check out my YouTube channel. It's J and Company 95.
Yeah, and if you want to check out my personal YouTube channel, it's the exact same username, TECHIET95. Just typed in that on YouTube search and I'll pop right up. Anyway. Oh! Hey, bad boy.
What?
So, this rolled through Twitter, and I just wanted to show you guys this. I thought this was pretty darn cool. I'm not a huge fan with consoles. I'm more of a PC gamer, because, heck...
PCs are awesome.
Yeah, PCs are awesome.
You can do more with them than some other
so this
games.
is what a combined Xbox One and PlayStation 4 laptop looks like. Now, I know that the PS4 is cut off here, and the Xbox One is cut off here, but if you read in the article, how long is the article? Oh, it's just 3 paragraphs.
I'm going to put in here, I'm really hating Adobe Flash right now. It is always, go down.
So if you want to take a look at this, I'm just going to leave it here long enough so you can pause the podcast right here and take a look at it.
Go down.
So here's your pause point in 3, 2, 1.
No one cares.
There's your pause point.
But you see this right here? This plugin is vulnerable and should be updated. I've updated Adobe Flash like 3 times and it won't go away.
Yeah, probably.
Adobe Flash is so frigging annoying.
It's just an Adobe. It's just a Firefox little bug there.
It's Adobe. Let's leave it at that.
Who needs a PS Vita when you can carry around both an Xbox One and PlayStation 4 around with you in the same case? Apparently, this is the thinking behind the Playbox.
Xbox Dual.
Get it? A PlayStation Xbox Playbox? Makes sense to me. I'm only going to read the first paragraph. A monstrous console modded by serial tinkerer Eddie Zarek that combines both consoles into a laptop form, kicked out with a 1080p 22-inch screen.
Kitted out.
Interesting. I've seen PlayStation. No, I've seen Xbox 360 laptops before, but I've seen. No, they're actually not clunky. No,
I knew a kid that had one and he didn't like it. He must have gotten a stupid one.
Yeah. Anywho.
Anyway,
just for the sake of reasons, I'll put the screen back up in a minute. But I'm gonna look at Xbox 360 laptop.
Chair fell down. Ouch.
Let's see here. What do we get?
You turn on the screen. I got something I gotta show people.
Hang on.
Okay.
Give me a second. There's the one that I've seen before. So if you go to element14.com I think he's sponsored by Element 14. But anyway, here's a Xbox 360 laptop that he designed himself.
Nice.
The guy's name is Ben Heck.
Ben Heck.
Ben Heck. Heck. So yeah.
It would be funny if his name was Hack. That'd be awesome. Hacker.
Yeah, he is a hardcore hacker. A lot of his stuff is pretty darn cool.
It is.
Anyway,
so I got something for the people to see.
Okay, John. Other than that, we'll get to your thing in just a half a second here. But do you have anything for famous goofs in PC history? I love the face. I'll take that as a big no.
Oh, you don't want to miss this.
Oh, okay. I see.
But before that...
Oh, wait, I don't see. Ha. Anyway, continue.
You see what I put up with? Scoot over.
Why?
I need this to share your screen. This is weird. There's no one over here. Here, let's swap spots just for a second. I hate. Oh, it seems that well, Five Nights at Freddy's 3 is upon us. As you may know,
I haven't seen 2 yet.
Five Nights at Freddy's 2, you haven't seen it. Is it showing the screen?
Nope. I'll get it.
Okay.
Wait.
Let me get the page first.
Okay.
All right, let me get the
Snag
page.
page.
All right. So anyway, yeah, if you don't know what Five Nights at Freddy's is, it's basically it's a indie point-and-click survival horror game. It was done mid-late 2014, the first one. It was done by a guy named Scott Cawthorn.
Let me get the screen cap going on.
Okay.
There you go.
It was done by a guy named Scott Cawthorn. Used the Click Team Fusion 2.5. A lot of you probably already know what it is. I'll just go through it and make it short. The player must survive their shift lasting from midnight to 6 a.m., approximately 8 to 9 minutes of real time, without being attacked by one of the animatronic animal robots roaming the facility. The player sits in an office and can't really move around, and he's given access to a network of security cameras through the facility to track the movement of the robots. 4 of the 5 characters have distinct movement patterns. However, most of the characters' movements take place off-screen. Now, why they say 4 of the 5 characters, there's only 4, besides yourself. The camera feeds are dimly lit and distorted. One of the rooms only contains an audio feed, and the cameras do not cover certain areas of the building. Most notably, the 2 hallways directly to the left and right of the player. The player can't really leave the guard room, but can close the doors to defend himself, and briefly turn on lights to check for the robots. Use of these actions consume the player's limited electrical power. If the power runs out, the cameras will die, and the doors will open, the lights go out, and the player will have no defense against an attack. As the title suggests, the game has 5 levels, comprising 5 nights in the game, which increase in difficulty. Completion of the game unlocks an even more difficult 6th night, and the completion of this opens up basically Night 7, or a custom night, where the player can adjust the AI difficulty of individual characters.
I thought it was only 5 nights.
It is 5 nights. There's a 6th extra night, and after that, you can make your own.
Okay.
The game's sequel, Five Nights at Freddy's 2, was released on November 11th, 2014. And pretty soon we're going to have Five Nights at Freddy's 3.
What happened? Oh, 2's already out?
2 is already out.
Okay.
It actually, I've played it. It's not too bad. But apparently, Five Nights at Freddy's 3 is going to be out pretty soon. Let me see if I can find a page that talked about it. There's not really a real good website that talks about it.
And if you have an opinion on Five Nights at Freddy's
Feel free to
game,
drop us a line.
Feel free to email us and to tell us about it. To let us know. Yeah, what are you doing?
I'm using bloodydisgusting.com. I know I don't really like this site, but it's the only place that really talks about it. Earlier this month, indie developer Scott Cawthorn confirmed the imminent return of Freddy Fazbear and Friends with the first teaser image for Five Nights at Freddy's 3. And we have another, as far as I can tell. The latest image doesn't really reveal much. In it, we see a box of animatronic parts resting beneath a giant 3. Pretty straightforward. So are you planning on grabbing this, or will you do what a lot of other folks seem to be doing and just watch someone else play it?
Probably.
I'll probably just watch someone else play it the first time,
Twitch.tv.
Whatever. Anyway, we can switch places now.
Yep, switching
We'll
places.
review Five Nights at Freddy's 3 when it comes out. It's supposedly going to come out sometime in February.
Yeah, I'll leave that review up to you.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Okay. Anyway,
where's my Verners? Oh, I drank
I
it.
don't know. After I get done with Radioshack's little mishap, we can get into famous goofs in PC history. So, Radioshack decided that it may file for bankruptcy in February. I'm only going to read the first few paragraphs. Well, I guess. Well, we'll see. Any nerd over the age of 20 can probably remember a time he or she would frequent a local Radioshack. Excuse me. It was the go-to shop for electronics and geek fare, though we were talking a lifetime ago in tech years. Fast forward to today, there are reports that Radioshack is headed for a bankruptcy filing. Perhaps as early as the first week of February. Sadly, can't say we're surprised. Citing people familiar with the matter, the Wall Street Journal says Radioshack found itself short on cash after spending funds on a failed turnaround of effort. As the chain prepares to file for bankruptcy, it's reaching out to potential lenders that could keep the company afloat. The sources also say that Radioshack is in talks with a private equity firm about buying its assets out of bankruptcy. No deal is imminent, however, and the chain may prefer to go to the traditional route of reducing its debt and reconstructing its business through bankruptcy court. Radioshack has posted losses for the past 11 quarters. In a filing, the company revealed it had $62.6 million as of November 1st, including $43.3 million in cash and $19.3 million in borrowing availability. That's not much for a chain around 4,300 stores in the U.S. It's sad to see that Radioshack reduced irrelevancy after getting its start with a store in Boston 94 years ago. It did well for many years, and it began to fizzle in the internet era. A Star Telegram article written in last September offers a great read on what went wrong, or more precisely, the many things that brought Radioshack to this point. In particular, its quote by Ed Fox, who teaches marketing at Southern Methodist University, Cox School of Business. Call it a death by 1,000 cuts. Radioshack is left with all these stories and not much differentiation from big box competitors like Best Buy, Fox points out. Whenever I go into a Radioshack, this is completely not I don't mean this to be offensive in any way, shape, or form. Let me cut the screen here. I don't mean this in any way, shape, or form to be offensive, but whenever I go into a Radioshack, they don't have anything. That's a really bad reflection. Yeah, seriously. Yeah, they don't really have much that would... Yeah, sure, they got their regular circuit boards, their soldering irons,
Their soldering irons are pretty good.
Yeah,
I used to buy their batteries. Oh, raise your hand if you remember Tandy.
Tandy.
They and Radioshack merged. Well, Radioshack bought Tandy. If you have some of the old Radioshack Chrono sets or the old tape players, it says Radioshack, a division of the Tandy Corporation. Or the other way around. Anyway, for epic moments in stupidity, I'm going to, this time, I really can't find any real story, so I'm going to tell you some really good old computer jokes that I heard. Some of these are just drop-dead hilarious.
Are they family-friendly?
Yes.
Okay, good. Because we are family-friendly.
We are family-friendly.
Yep.
We don't put, like cussing and porn and drugs and stuff on our thing.
Yeah.
Anyway, so if you have kids watching this, it's safe.
Yep, we're good.
Anyway, customer calls up tech support and says, "How fast will my COM ports go?" Tech support says, "Depends on how hard you can throw your computer." Customer says, "Can I ask you a really stupid question?" Tech support says, "Yes, and history will bear me out on that."
Say that again?
The customer calls up tech support and says, "Can I ask you a really stupid question?" Tech support says, "Yeah, I guess so. History will bear me out on that." Our service does not really work with a UART older than the 16551. A customer had an older UART chip, and he refused to believe it would keep him from using our service. He got very upset, finally snapping, "What does UART stand for anyway?" Tech support says, "It stands for you aren't getting online." Customer calls up tech support. "When I touch the sound card board at the back of my PC, I can feel electric current." Tech support says, "Then don't touch it." Student talks to consultant. "How do I make my paper longer?" The consultant says, "You write more."
Well, if your paper's short, if
Okay.
your paper file's
Okay.
short, then
this
your
is a
paper
long.
file's...
This is a longer one. My right hand. This is tech support. Left hand is customer. "Okay, let's put your operating system disk in the drive." "Okay, which way does it go in?" "The shiny side faces down." Alright, which way is down?" "Towards the floor."
Label up.
"Ah, okay. Let's see, towards the floor. Okay, so what way does the other side face?" "Are you kidding? Hey, I'm not a computer genius. Okay, that's why I called you." "Okay, that side faces down too."
That's great. That's great.
This kept her occupied a few minutes while I told my colleagues what was happening, and we had a good laugh.
That's great.
Well, anyway,
Famous gifts in PC history. John, what do you got?
this guy says he worked in the technical support department for National ISP. One day he was listening to conversation of a tech next to him talking to a very frustrated woman. Apparently she'd been having trouble getting online with our software. The previous tech told her to go into dial-up networking and create a new connection, get her online, so she could then download our software. That, amazingly, had been successful, but she was calling back to complain that when she finished downloading the software and opened the CD-ROM drive, there was nothing in there. The tech replied in his thick Australian accent, "Ma'am, this is not a vending machine." That was a terrible Australian accent. "Ma'am, this is not a vending machine."
It's not an Australian accent either.
"This is not a vending machine." That sounds more British. An old man walked into a computer store. He's talking really loud and eventually walked up to the computer and spit. "I need to upgrade my boots! They don't kick butt anymore!" I told him it sounded more like a user error to me.
Well,
Anyway, this is me. I knew this guy and I worked on his computer a while back. I was waiting for one of the operations to complete. I was just spinning the cursor on the screen, as a lot of people do. The guy asked me why techs seem to do that. I said, well, sometimes you have to spin the mouse around in a clockwise direction to wind her up. You don't have to do it very often, but we usually do it while we're working on other things to save time. I was so mean. The guy swallowed the story all the way. He hook, line, and sinker, and my friend Travis and I had a pretty good laugh about that. A few days later, another one of our PC guys was working on the same machine for the guy. The guy caught him moving the cursor around while he was waiting for the computer to finish something. And he asked him, "Why are you spinning the cursor counterclockwise?" He said, without missing a beat. My friend said, "Every so often they get wound too tight, you have to unwind them."
yeah, you'll have to retell me that one later. I only got half of that.
Okay, this is my last one.
Last one.
This is a doozy.
That looks really long.
This story is from Dark Ages, before PC help desks were invented.
Might want to sit back for this one.
I wish I had a fireplace and an easy chair just go like this. Wish I had a robe. Oh my gosh, I gotta look as cool as possible for this. Good evening.
Jeez.
The story is from Dark Ages. Before PC help... I can't do that. Before PC help desks were invented, PCs ran DOS, dumb operating system, disk operating system, and Windows hadn't even infected the world yet. We were slowly moving from mainframe green screen terminals to desktop PCs. On this particular Monday morning, I got a trouble call from one of the internal auditors. They're a pretty powerful bunch, I'll tell you. Get on their bad side, they might decide to audit you. So people tried to keep them happy. Sounds like IBM. They had demanded a PC, even though they hadn't a clue how to use it, what to use it for. But they got what they asked for. And one day they had a problem.
Yawning's contagious.
And one day they had a problem. The reported problem seemed simple. The roof of the audit office had let the rain in over the weekend. They were concerned that their PC had been damaged by the water. No, they hadn't turned it on. Very sensible. And it just so happens that a few months previously, I had been evaluating some shareware, and the collection I ordered included just the right programs, a scheduler, and a couple harmless jokes. So I dug around the appropriate 5 1/4-inch floppy disks, wandered up to the audit office. I lost my place. The leak hadn't been serious. The area was at worst damp, not wet. The PC looked okay, so I powered it on. I'm pretty sure most of you will know what this is, but this is a 5 1/4-inch floppy disk.
Just for the record.
Just for the record. And if you're going to comment and say, no, duh, you think we're stupid and don't know what that is, don't even bother commenting. That's for the people who don't know what it is. I didn't know what that was until I was older. I didn't remember using them. I used the little ones. Anyway.
Well, John can finish this. I gotta take a phone call here.
Okay.
Hang on.
Okay. The PC looked okay. I powered it up looking for smoke and sparks. Everything seemed to work. I explained that I needed to do a few quick checks. I'm so sorry. And it was okay to use a computer, or there was I explained that I needed to do a few checks, and was it okay to use a computer, or was there anything sensitive on it? They gave me the go-ahead. Put the floppy disk in, used a couple of utilities from it to do some basic checks. I also did a few edits to the root directory of the floppy, citing the trap. They weren't watching what I was doing. Stupid auditors. I pronounced the machine to be fine and rebooting it, priming the trap. I advised them to leave the PC on but not use it for a while, just in case they needed it to dry out. Back in the office, I explained what was happening to the Technorati. The atmosphere was strained as we awaited the end of the 10-minute countdown I'd set. Sure enough, less than a minute before after the trap fired, there's a panicking auditor on the phone. It seemed that a damp PC had put up a bright green message announcing water damage detected, spin cycle starting. It was making loud noises like a washing machine spinning. I returned and gravely inspected the scene. The auditors were not quite cowering as far from the PC as possible. It was easy to extract the floppy and reboot the PC, getting it back to normal. No real damage done. The spin cycle seems to have worked, I announced. I escaped before I exploded into laughter. Eventually the head auditor arrived for a quiet word. He hadn't been around for the fun, but received a full report. A bright one, boy, this one. He knew his team had been duped and wanted them to know how. I confessed. Wanted them to know how. I confessed, and he roared with laughter, shook my hand, and congratulated me. It wasn't exactly the response I was expecting. You know, it's fun, stupid auditors.
Anywho,
Anyway.
Finish it?
Yep, I'm done.
Okay. Got anything for history? No, not history.
Remember, I returned
Famous
that.
goofs in PC history. That's it.
These were. Because I didn't really have a story, I just told jokes for this. These are all kind of famous goofs.
Oh, okay.
They weren't really famous, but they're just common goofs.
Well, we're at about our 34-minute mark, so, yep, we gotta wrap this one up.
Alright.
Well,
so, anyway, I'm John Hewlett.
Yeah, if you want to follow me on Twitter, it's at TechieT95, TECHIET95, and same thing for my YouTube, my personal YouTube channel. If you'd like to rate, comment, and subscribe to all of our channels, heck, why not? we both put out some pretty good stuff. So
Yeah, check
and
out
if you
my
want,
YouTube channel, it's J and Company 95.
and I already gave you my YouTube name and Twitter because it's the exact same thing, TechieT95. And if you have a question or something, feel free to email us or comment on this video. Please this time don't put any like really
Stupid comments.
kind of dumb comments because
We had a couple of-
we understand that our lighting is terrible.
And we also understand
understand
that our podcast was really stupid starting out. It was really not that good. But that doesn't mean we want people commenting crap. That's annoying.
Yeah.
It doesn't really make us feel like trying very hard the next time around.
Yeah. If you would like to add a comment on how we can improve on our show, if you would like to make a suggestion or tell us what you think is good, what you think is bad, feel free to comment on the video, or email us tech95qa@gmail.com. That is TECH95, the letter Q. This is all lowercase, keep in mind. ANDA@gmail.com, or just simply comment on this video. Yeah, we understand we have flaws. We understand that. If you would, if you have any suggestions on how to improve, and if you're curious on what software we are using to record this, we are using Open Broadcaster software version 0.638b, which has game capture, multicam capture. Obviously, it's multicam because we got an image on two webcam captures going on at the same time. But ooh, I look like a robot. Ooh, reflection. Sweet. Anyway, yeah, this will wrap up this episode of Tech 95. What episode is this? Episode 20, I think it is.
Yay.
Awesome, sweet. We are sorry that we cannot do this on a weekly basis.
Anymore.
Well,
We used to be able to, and then we got into college.
yeah,
And
kind of
work.
eating up our time quite a bit.
Oh, yeah.
And plus life is kind of eating up our time. So, we'll try to record on a weekly basis, but it might not always happen. So just the best way to know that we've gotten a video out is to subscribe to us. Just hit that little subscribe button. All you need to do is just get a Gmail account and then set up your YouTube channel, whatever. I don't remember all the steps that are involved in that, but if you want to know when our videos come out, it's on our YouTube channel. They're uploaded pretty darn quick from recording. I've had the maximum of 4 or 5 days, possibly. I think one time we had a week that I couldn't upload.
Yeah, it was acting weird.
Yeah, YouTube was just acting weird that day, I think. Anyway, so yeah, that's going to wrap up this episode of Tech 95. I'm Travis Smith.
And I'm Jonathan Hewlett.
We'll see you next time
See ya.
on
Bye.
Tech 95.
Bye-bye.
Bye.